Hello everybody, Selbi once again here, and today I'm presenting you the first real episode of yeah. Here we already had the first problem. I don't even know what to call this show. So leave your opinions or ideas down below in the comments and I'll see what I can do. So it appears this idea was a pretty big success for some of you, so I can only be thankful for that. There's only one problem here because some people didn't actually understand how this entire thing works. So I'm going to explain it to you now. First off, if you have an idea, I want you to post it on either the thread on the Steam forums, obviously not this one but the next one, which is by the time of this video release already out, or directly under the video in the comments section, which obviously also is going to be the case, that it's going to be out by now. As for the format, I want you to post it like this. Of course the colors and everything is not required, but it does add a lot to the appeal of the weapon, and I can only be thankful if you do it. Little explanation why you think this should get into the next episode, or a little explanation maybe to avoid overlooks or something like that. If your idea is acceptable, by acceptable I mean it must be in the item scheme of Team Fortress 2. If it isn't, the attributes are out of your mind, sadly there's nothing I can do to avoid that. Little reminder here, as I explained in the last episode, if you want to check if your ideas are acceptable, go to the wiki and type in this address list of the item attributes, scroll through the list and check if your item attribute does indeed exist. If it is acceptable, I will add this to this page, the custom page with all the accepted item changes so far. That does not mean the item change is going to be in the video, at least not in the next one, but it does mean the items actually have a chance to be there. Whether the items get in the next episode or not, well, I have no idea how to do this yet. Maybe I will make it so that next to every single item change there's going to be a like button or something, and the 5 item changes with the most likes get into the next episode. I don't know. I'll see what I can do. For now it will run like this, that you just give me the item ideas and I will pick the most interesting ones myself. Alright, so now that that's out of the way, let's get to the game. Now before I actually start, I have a little story to tell you. There were quite a few item changes which I actually wanted to get into this episode, but sadly it didn't work out at all. Some item changes sadly didn't work out as expected, others didn't work out at all, only a fraction actually worked as planned, and you will see them later on. A good example of what didn't work at all, which is actually pretty surprising because I thought it'd be a dream to work, is the Enforcer, everyone's favorite spy revolver, by the way. It was supposed to have 20% increase in damage when you are under half of your health and 20% decrease in damage when you are above half of your health. Basically a Shahancha for the spy, only ranged. It was actually a pretty decent idea, only problem, it doesn't work. So here we have the spy, which I'm now going to shoot at point blank with the Enforcer at full health. 60 damage, which is actually the total ramp up damage from the normal revolver. So as you can see, nothing has changed. Now let's try something else. Hurt me 124, so I only have 1 health left. By logic I must now have increase of 20% damage, but it's still 60. So as you can see, this item scheme, it may seem simple to edit, but some changes simply don't work out as expected. So there's nothing I can do. So we're now here on Dust Bowl with everybody's favorite class, the Engineer. And here's another one of the more interesting changes which sadly didn't work out. The Eureka effect. Teleports can be used in both directions. Taken straight from MVM. Whoops, yeah. But it doesn't work out at all. Let's build an entrance here. Let's no clip to this place. Get some metal. Let's build a teleporter. As you can see, It does work in the one direction. Hold on, let's upgrade. Oh, RA formula. Okay, so it's now level 2, and whether it's level 2, 1 or 3, the other direction from exit to entrance does not work. But here's the interesting part. Let's change to... Hold on. Change level MVM decoy. This is gonna take a while. Now here's the interesting part. I build an entrance over here. Go to this place, build the exit, and now I have the two-way teleporter. And to prove that it's indeed from this item and not everything else, let's check here. The two-way teleporter upgrade has not been bought yet, so indeed it does work. Only part that's not working is the actual item attribute, because I think it has been programmed so it's restricted to man versus machine, so it can't be used anywhere outside. It's just that this restriction needs to be removed. Yeah, nothing I can do. But that was only the beginning of the drama, because let's take a look here. An interesting idea to fix a red tape recorder. 50% less health on the zappers, which basically means it can be destroyed by any range in one hit. There's only one problem. Take a look at this gameplay footage. Okay, so let's see how a zapper duel with an engineer works. Was this supposed to happen? Okay, so does it still work? Yes, it does. What the f... And finally, I'm here with the most obscure change. Once again, it didn't actually work out the way I planned, solely because it was misleading. Let's take a look. It was actually kind of a joke, but yeah. On kill bursts into joyous laughter. This is listed as a positive attribute, which to my understanding means it's something good. So I thought that whenever somebody kills you, that guy needs love. Well, it does the opposite of that. Let's take a look. I'm using the Huntsman just because I am a very bad sniper. And yeah. Okay, so let's take a look. Yes. And it does this after every single kill. But here comes the sad part. It actually works with every single weapon, not just your primary. Now, of course, someone could think about a proper way to balance this thing, maybe making your primary that works this way. Or just add it to the mechanism. But yeah, you see what I mean, so this is not going to work out. But yeah, nothing I can do. Okay, enough blabbering about the boring and old changes, let's get to the actual working ones. Let's start with a no-brainer really, the gunboats for the demo man. As you can see, it does clip a little, because there is no extra money, this is the one from the soldier. But yeah, it does work, and here's a little backstory. Originally, the demo lost the war, so he didn't get these items. But it has been established that, indeed, he was going to get those items if he did win the war. Now, the war is 3 years in the past, so I think things could change by now. Yeah, basically. This idea has actually potential to be everybody's favorite new change for the demo man. Because you can just ramp your right up, lose half of your health, but you still survived. Now let's get up here without dying, and so it does work well as expected, and really I don't see the problem. It replaces your grenade launcher, which is effectively just as useful as your sticky bomb launcher. So giving that up for having less damage taken from sticky jumps, I don't see the problem. Okay, on to the next one. Now we're here again on Dust Bowl as a scout with another interesting item change. It's called the Winger 1. Why 1? Because later I'm going to show you another version of the Winger. And this item attribute has actually been suggested by TF2 Tightrope, which is another balance concept made by various people who are interested in game balance. And the interesting part about this, it's pretty much a straight buff in every way you look at it. It has 10% more damage than before and 10% smaller clip size, so the clip size is actually now a consistent number and not this weird 5 which never really made any sense. On top of that, it also has a 75% accuracy bonus, so if you're fight you can actually pretty much make sure that wherever you aim your shot's gonna land. I cannot land my shots because I'm a very bad scout. I'm not really good at aiming, but yeah. It does do more damage. It should not be used as a weapon to actually kill people, but much rather as a way to finish off people. Not like this. So yeah, I think this is a good way to balance this weapon, because on one hand it's pretty damn simple. All it does is actually add a little bit to the attributes which already exist. And yeah. But then there was another change for the Winger suggested. One that is actually more useful for the set with the Soda Popper and the Winger. Because it was submitted as a set, so one could imagine that they actually work together. And this is very interesting. Crits whenever, no mini crit, but it has a slow firing speed and does no random crits. Basically, it's a ranger's bushwhacker for the scout. And it synergizes very well with the Soda Popper because of the mini crits on demand, basically. So let's take a look how this works together. There's a bunch of soldiers there, and now... oh yeah, that's doing quite a lot of damage. Now if I could actually learn to aim, I could make the best of this, but yeah. It does work well. It's doing a lot of damage at long range, and if this is going to get into the game or as a new weapon, there's probably going to need some nerfing for the Soda Popper. I'm pretty much sure we will get to that later on, but not in this episode. It must be another time when there's actually a good solution, because really the minor stats like faster firing speed or faster reload speed, removing those won't change anything really, because yeah, you find something to fix this. Here we are, the heavy and the Hulong heater, as well as the locust bar, having two very unusual changes here, but it does work. First off, the Hulong heater, it now makes heavy by default 50% faster, but you can no longer collect ammo from dispensers, and instead of 6 you are now losing 10 ammo per second for just having it deployed. This means you will lose all of your ammo in just 10 seconds with constant firing. So it's more of an aggressive than a passive or defensive minigun, but you need to pretty much make sure you always have enough ammo. And the other one, the locust bar, 25% faster taunt speed on Vera. This is because the locust bar by itself is pretty much an underpowered weapon. The minor health buff doesn't really synergize well with the small health increase, because why not just use a freaking sandwich? So let's take a look at the locust buff first. A little issue comes with that because of the heal rate. That's worked over the 4 seconds eating time. You're no longer here for the full effect when eating this thing, so that probably needs some fix. But yeah, the funny part is that this actually also applies to your other taunts, so yeah, more interesting. Little delay here on the power taunt. Yeah. The more interesting part is the long heater. As you can see, I am moving faster right now, much faster than before, even when spun up. But really, let's see how it synergizes with some combating. Let's take a quick look here. And you can see how fast my ammo runs out. Just 5 seconds pass and it's still leave me at only, oh my god, and it's gone. Everything is gone in just like 10 seconds. So you must keep your ammo always in mind when using this weapon. But the bonus here is indeed that you do have a faster firing speed. And you must remember that you still have this small ring which gives you some protection against spies, so yeah. So let's move on with the spy, and once again here we are with a little bit more interesting item change. There's no new name in it, so it's just the new spy knife. On kill, 3 seconds of 100% critical chance, on miss, hit yourself, idiot. So basically it's a combination of the killing gloves of boxing and the Boston Basher combined into a spy knife. So the idea here is that you can now backstab someone, shoot them, and then get out your revolver and shoot pretty much the classes around him, so you get some backup. On the other hand, if you miss, you're going to get a little bit of self-damage. Right now the self-damage is only 20 because the on miss attribute works by halving the base damage and applying it to yourself, so it doesn't really do a whole lot. Let's take a look at another example. I backstab this guy and kill the soldier in 2 spots and then get away. It's pretty much a backup weapon for spies, or an offensive weapon that promotes actually using the revolver once. There needs to be added something to this weapon. I don't know what yet. At first there was the idea to make a 100% damage penalty, so it's only doing damage when you're doing a backstab. But not only does this only matter to bad spies, but also because of the on miss attribute, this damage penalty also completely nullified the on miss attribute. So it didn't work out as expected and I had to remove it. Can you think of a way to improve the downside so it's actually a little bit more fair now? Because the current problem with this weapon is that it's not doing anything bad against good spies, because good spies normally don't miss, and if they do, 20 damage is not really that much. There needs to be something added to this. And finally here is a pyro with the man melter, and this is probably going to be the most interesting changes of them all, because now, just take a look, it's now its gun weapon. You can now say who's going to be set on fire and who isn't. So we have the soldier here, we look at him, and boom, on fire. Then we have this soldier right here, boom, on fire. Now just to demonstrate you that this penetration attribute is actually working, once again here onto our walkway. And let's take a look. We have this medic and the scout. We're gonna shoot, and as you can see, both have been ignited. This even works when one player is already ignited. And another one. So as you can see, the penetration works, but it does require some deadly accurate aim, which I obviously don't have. Yeah. And that concludes this episode. I hope you all enjoyed it. It was a bit longer than expected, but yeah. However, before I end this video, I have a few questions for you. First, obviously the name, as I said in the beginning of this video. Second, do you agree with the custom system of submitting ideas? Third, should I show failed concept like I did in this episode, or do they just waste time without doing anything? Fourth, obviously, do you have any ideas for the items in this episode? Some, like the new spy knife, are way too overpowered and need some fixing. And finally, do you have a problem with the length of these videos? I will try to be shorter the next time if you wish. A quick wish from my own side, I do not care about subscribers, likes or favorite. However, what I do care about is sharing. This series can only work if many people can talk about it, so it'd be cool if you could spread the word a little. But seriously now, let's end this. I'm Selbi, and I'll see you next year.